Hello, dear fans, friends, and subscribers. Welcome to this cricket happening show of mine. Well, I'm going to start off by taking you down to the second Test match here between Australia and West Indies, where West Indies are the ones who won the toss and they elected to field, and they have also drawn first blood in the first over itself when David Warner has been taken by Hope. Shy Hope taking catch, and Warner is walking back after getting a duck here. What a delivery! I mean, the third delivery of the Australian innings, and the ball which was actually I would say reared up from length outside the off stump. Warner was really caught in a very awkward angle there, and he ended up by fending it, and it went to third slip where Shy Hope took a low catch, and David Warner, the first wicket is gone. Jerome Taylor has struck for the West Indies as Warner is gone for duck, and I thought West Indies have got a good start, especially considering the fact that West Indies in this they are already one down in this two test series. This is the final test series. As you know, Australia have already retained the Frank Worrell Trophy. But one thing that I can say here is that West Indies today are really crippled. In fact, there are three people who are missing. One is Devendra Bishu, who bowled a ball of the 21st century when he clean bowled Brad Haddin, the leg spinner, and Marlon Samuels, who had a good game, is also not there in the team, and Shannon Gabriel is not there. And then we have a debut for Rajni Chandrika, who's a batsman, and then it's also Veersamy Permaul is back. But the good thing for West Indies, I thought, is Kemar Roach is back, because I thought he's a genuine fast bowler, and as I'm talking to you right now, the bowling operations are going on here as Kemar Roach has just entered his first over in which he has given away 8 runs. So Australia currently losing the toss to the West Indies in the second Test match here at Kingston in Jamaica. They are 8 for 1, and I thought West Indies definitely required that, because as I said, they are already crippled with main players missing there. Barring Shannon Gabriel, I thought Marlon Samuels and Devendra Bishu had a great role to play, and unfortunately both are missing. I reckon Marlon Samuels is out due to injury, but Devendra Bishu is also out due to injury, and Australia have gone with the unchanged side. Well, I will come back to that. So that is the latest cricketing update. And the other thing that I'm going to there was no play in the second day's play at Fatullah in the first Test match between Bangladesh and India, so there's nothing to report. The whole day was washed out, and today Shikhar Dhawan and Murli Vijay, if rain relents on the third day, they would resume their batting there. Well, so nothing to talk about there. But one news which has come, and also tomorrow we have one match which is coming up, and this is the England versus New Zealand, the second one-day international. As you know, England played with a lot of intent, putting up their highest ever score in one-day internationals of 408, and then winning it by a crushing victory. But I'm sure New Zealand would have really looked into all that, and I'm sure Brendan McCullum would have a different approach today, and we'll have to see whether England keeps up their aggressive approach, or are they going to let their guard down. And this match is going to be played at Oval, and as Oval, I am told that there are a lot of runs that has been scored at the Oval Cricket Ground, and there's also, they say there's a chance of a thunderstorm tomorrow, and it is going to be very interesting to see whether New Zealand are going to really stop England in their tracks tomorrow, or whether England are going to again run away with an aggressive approach against the Kiwis. That will be very interesting. But for New Zealand, the good thing is that Tim Southee is back. So Tim Southee and Trent Boult, as you know, they form an awesome combination, and so that they would be the ones who would be in charge of bowling operations. That should be the good thing to happen for New Zealand, and that would give them some confidence going into the second one-day international of the 5-match series. Mitchell McClennan would be the man who would be sitting out. And for England, I think they would probably stick with the mostly with the winning combination. So I'm not going to talk much about that, well, I'm going to talk about something from England for sure, and I will also keep an eye on the cricketing update here, where the match between Australia and West Indies is currently underway. And the reason that I'm talking about England here is that we have seen a lot of retirements as far as English cricket is concerned, and today there was one more player from England who retired, and his name, everyone knows him. And nowadays, as you know, he has, and it's none other than Matt Pryor. Now, Matt Pryor, the wicketkeeper batsman, who has really done a lot of good service for English cricket, unfortunately, due to the Ashes injury, which required surgery last year, has been forced to retire. In fact, he didn't want to retire, but the injury has forced him to retire from cricket. In fact, he has announced his retirement from cricket, so that is something which is sad for England, but unfortunately that's what it is. Now, Matt Pryor, just talking about Matt Pryor, he has been, if you look at Matt Pryor, he made his debut against the West Indies. He started off in a wonderful manner. In fact, he did something which was of great value, because if you score a century on the Lord's cricket ground on your Test debut, one could understand what a feeling that would be. In fact, as you would remember, Matt Pryor made his debut against the West Indies way back in 2007, and on his debut against West Indies at the Lord's cricket ground, he scored a century, and after that he had 7 Test hundreds in his Test career. Now, as far as Matt Pryor is concerned, he played 33. He has retired at the age of 33. He was a wonderful wicketkeeper batsman who was mostly looking at his body language. One would probably reckon that he was a very, very aggressive bloke. He likes to take the attack to the opposition, be it Test matches. In Test matches, so we saw an aggressive approach from Matt Pryor, and he was also a part of the Ashes series victories against Australia, of 3 Ashes victories. In fact, he was a part of 3 Ashes victories, and also Pryor, he played 33 Test matches. He was a very good wicketkeeper. He was a really acrobatic wicketkeeper, and I'm also told he also had a very good tenure as far as wicketkeeping was concerned, because as you would remember, the great England wicketkeeper batsman Alan Knott. Alan Knott, looking at that record that had, Alan Knott, who was one of the greatest England wicketkeepers, in fact, if you look at Pryor's dismissals, he had 256 dismissals in all, and that placed him just one behind the great Alan Knott, one of the greatest England wicketkeepers. So that is also a proud feeling for him. He played 79 Test matches. He scored 4,099 runs, and he had 7 centuries in that. He had a very good career, and unfortunately, I wouldn't say he had a lot of success as far as one-day internationals and T20s were concerned. And in first-class matches, he did pretty well. He played 249 first-class matches for England, for his county Sussex, and he scored 13,228 runs at the average of 39.25, and he also got 683 dismissals behind the stumps. So he has been a very, very athletic wicketkeeper batsman who has played a great deal for English cricket. And as I said, it is only very sad that Matt Pryor, one of the wonderful wicketkeepers that English cricket produced, unfortunately has to leave the scene by retiring at the age of 33 due to the injury that he suffered. So Matt Pryor's days are numbered, so one can very safely say now Josh Butler is the one who is going to do the duties behind the stumps for England in probably all formats of cricket. Well, so that is one news that I wanted to talk about. So Matt Pryor's retirement, and while I'm talking to you here, give you some cricket commentary, probably only for 2 minutes, I suppose, or 2 balls, as I see. And also there's one match which is happening between the board president's 11. As you know, Pakistan are touring Sri Lanka, as we all know, and I'm trying to see whether I can get some scores. In the meanwhile, there's one cricket news that I could really share with you. The other day, as you know, the T20 qualifying matches are going to be starting, where all these associate nations are playing, and Nepal, the new captain of Nepal is Paras Katka. Paras Katka is the new captain of the Nepalese cricket team. Nepal, as you know, they had an earthquake, and the Indians were the ones who actually offered them help in actually getting them to practice by inviting them here. And so Paras Katka is the new captain of the Nepal cricket team, as Nepal is getting ready to play in the T20 qualifiers. As you know, the T20 qualifiers are being played because this is something where, as you know, the T20 tournament is going to take place in 2015. It's going to be played in India, and Nepal would be hoping that they could qualify for the T20 tournament in India. That would be very interesting. And also in this the World T20 qualifier, is Namibia is the one who is going to kick it off by playing against Ireland in the first of the World T20 qualifiers. Now, what I would like to talk here, I'm just trying to see whether I can get you some cricket scores on this match, which is the Sri Lanka Board President's 11, which is playing on Sri Lanka. As I said, Pakistan are touring Sri Lanka, and I'm trying to see whether I can lay my hands on some cricket scores here in this Board President's 11 match between Sri Lanka and the Sri Lanka Board President's 11 and Pakistan. But I can definitely give you the scores on that, where I thought the Sri Lanka Board President's 11 have done pretty well, because in this first match they actually bowled out the Pakistani team. There was a strong team, and I thought they did very well to bowl out this Pakistan team for probably 250 odd, and they finished at 44 for 1 at close of play. But let me take you down to the cricket commentary here before I leave this cricket happening show here. As I see Kemar Rose, who is into the team, he has been a bit rusty probably after coming back to bowl here. Kemar Rose coming into the West Indies cricket team is finding it a bit tough. He's not able to hit his straps right away, and his 2 overs has leaked 16 runs. But on the other hand, if you look at Jerome Taylor, he has been absolutely on the money. 2 overs, just 2 runs, and he has also picked up the very important wicket of David Warner. As in comes Jerome Taylor, back with a real spring in his step, is bowling superbly. This is his 3rd over as he comes in, passes umpire and bowls to Sean Marsh, as Sean Marsh pushes, and there is no run. So Australia right now, as I'm talking to you with this cricket update, I'm going to end this cricket show by promising you that tomorrow I'll be back and I'll be talking about this particular match. I'll be giving you a summary of the first day's play between Australia and West Indies in this second test match, which is right now underway at Kingston in Jamaica. As so that is the one. Australia 16 for 1, Sean Marsh 11 not out, Stephen Smith not out 4. I'm leaving the cricket show right now, dear fans and subscribers, and I'll be back to see you tomorrow and dwell on that. And I'll also be covering the, if at all the third day's play happens in the first test match between Bangladesh and India. I'll be talking about that. Other than that, well, probably you'll also see me doing a summary of the, or probably a cricket update of the New Zealand versus England, the second one international clash, which is coming up tomorrow at the Oval. That really really says it all for today as far as my cricket happening show goes, and I'll be back to see you all tomorrow and talk to you. Until then, it's goodbye. Thank you.